Hello, good morning. Welcome to my bicycle room, come gymnasium. This video is a little bit different. I'm going to do a little mechanical experiment and share it with you, so let me explain. I currently have 4 bicycles. That's my Queen Mary, that's the one that's in dry dock. That's permanently set up on a turbo trainer. It's a Tifosi steel frame. I have a red Thorn Audax bike, a blue Thorn Audax bike, and I've got a 26-inch wheel steel Caribou hybrid bike. That's my summer tourer and winter mainstay bicycle. The Caribou runs 8 speed and all the other bikes are on 9 speed. I'm a touring cyclist and 8 and 9 speed suits me absolutely fine. I'm very reluctant to keep upgrading every time a new cassette upgrade is introduced, and also some of them require a whole new transmission as well. However, I am aware that eventually they're going to become obsolete, so for the last 18 months or so I've been stockpiling 8 9-speed cassettes, chains, gear levers, hubs, wheels, etc. You get the idea, just to make sure I'm not going to be stuck for spares. And I've calculated I've got about 10 years worth. Let me give you an example. That cupboard's got lots of cassettes and chains in, and so's this one. Let me show you. Each one of these boxes have got a cassette and a chain in. I've got tons and tons of them. When I was doing some of my buying, I felt a little bit duped actually. I saw on eBay some really cheap chains, 9-speed chains, and they were advertised as for Shimano. Well, when they arrived, they're not Shimano whatsoever. They're cheap Chinese copies. Now, as they say, if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is, so it's probably my own fault. I did feel a bit cheated about that purchase, I have to admit. Although it's partly my own fault, I did feel sort of deceived and misled. And so I gave the seller some negative feedback on eBay. And they did actually respond to that. They got back to me and sort of said, "We're sorry you feel that way. As a gesture of goodwill, keep the 2 chains and we'll give you a cash refund if you withdraw the negative feedback." And for me, honesty and integrity is really important to me, and so I responded, said, "No, actually you keep the money and you can also keep the negative feedback." The quality actually looks really good, but there's just no way I'm going to risk something like that on a really long bike ride. I don't want something like that snapping. It'll probably happen at the most inconvenient time and place. So I've had 2 of these chains for about a year now, wondering what to do with them, and I think I've come up with a solution. This is my roll-off chain checker. Basically, you just put the tool into a chain and you can check the wear. I recently realised, despite that turbo trainer being set up and I've been using it for about 2 years, there was hardly any wear in the chain whatsoever. Although on my blue Thorn bike, that's been running for about a year now and it's really badly worn. It needed replacing. So I thought, why not pick up a corresponding cheap Chinese 9-speed cassette and put that chain and the Chinese cassette on my turbo trainer bike, which is exactly what I've done. The 9-speed chain and cassette that was on that, I've just transferred onto my Thorn bike, so in effect I've got an as new chain and cassette on there. That's one less out of my collection that I now need to use. If that chain does snap or fail or wear really quickly, it's just not a problem on the turbo trainer. I'll just put it down to an experiment that didn't work. But I have to say, I've ridden it a couple of times already and it rides really smoothly. All the indexing works fine, just as well as the Shimano original. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep measuring it, the chain, for wear over the next sort of several months and year or so. and I'll update you on some of my upcoming videos, and if it does snap, I'll admit it. You know, like all experiments, you know, it's 50-50 whether it works or not, but so far it seems fine. To give you an idea of the prices, the chains were about £8 each, as I sort of said. Too good to be true, really. I should have been suspicious. And the cassette I've just purchased to go with it, the copy, was £15. At the moment, to buy a cassette and chain Shimano 9-speed, because they're becoming less and less available, that combination costs about £40. So while I'm here, I'll give you a quick tour of my bike room. So there's a park work stand that just gets pulled away from the wall into the centre of the room when I want to do any work on the bikes. Got my Tifosi bike permanently set up on the turbo trainer. It's an elite turbo trainer, fan in front of it, and I'll put my timer there. You may notice I've got an old Star Schmidt hub dynamo in the front wheel. The story behind that was that used to be my main source of front light on long rides, and on a 300-kilometre Audax in the Cotswolds somewhere a few years ago, it actually failed, and so I was using a cat eye handlebar mounted LED front light as a backup. So luckily that saved me on that particular ride, and I've just never actually gone back to hub dynamos, and so I thought, what can I do with that wheel? Rather than throw it out or try and renovate it somehow, I just put it in the turbo trainer. There is my cat eye light. I mean, these LED lights are so lightweight, so reliable now. They last virtually all night. They're USB rechargeable, so if I do a multi-day ride, I literally just plug that into a power pack, put it in the saddlebag for a few hours, and it recharges. I'd never go back to a hub dynamo. That's tool case and more cassettes and chains in there. It's my camping fuels, rowing machine, track pump, as you can see, motorcycle helmet and boots. I've got some STI levers there and a new front mech for my Thorn bike. Sometime over the winter I'm going to install those on that. I did say recently I prefer the down tube levers for the really important long distance rides, just in case a cable snaps. Well, now I've actually replaced a few STI cables, I'm fairly confident about doing that on the road. So next time I ride that, it'll be STI equipped. Tyres galore in there. You see wheels. My wife's running machine. I used to suffer from back pain a lot, and I have to pay credit to my employer. They paid for me to go and see a private physiotherapist who gave me all these floor exercises to do, which seems to have alleviated the problem. So that's my yoga mat come floor exercise mat with a foam roller. Behind the foam roller you'll notice the horrible 1980s style gas fire. That actually doesn't work. In fact, it's been condemned and disconnected by a fully qualified gas safe engineer. However, it needs to remain in place for the back boiler to function. We hardly use the back boiler. We fire it up a few times over the winter just to drive our central heating. The house is so well insulated these days, we have to switch that off after about 45 minutes. I accessed a government grant about 15 years ago to install solar hot water tubes on our roof, so we get most of our hot water through the solar tubes, and the tank that came with it has actually got an electrical element in it, so maybe for a couple of months over the winter we just need to top up the hot water with a heating element, so our gas bill is minimal these days thanks to that. Replastered the room last year. There used to be a horrible 1950s or 60s style tile fireplace there, so I just used some old bath tiles, so now it looks like a 1980s style fireplace, but it does the trick. Oh, and I've got Tintin posters all around the house. I was a childhood fan of Tintin. I've never really grown out of it, so they're everywhere, including some rare collector's items as well. As I said then, a slightly different video, but I thought I'd just tell you about the experiment I'm trying with the Chinese copy of a 9-speed cassette and chain on that bike. I'll keep you updated.